Silence is the sleep that nourishes wisdom.
Imagine a world where the loudest sounds are your thoughts, where the hustle and bustle of life pauses, and you find clarity in the quiet. It might surprise you to learn that silence, often overlooked, holds incredible power over our well-being, both mentally and physically. Recent studies have revealed that moments of quiet can significantly lower our stress levels, enhance our concentration, and even reduce blood pressure. Today, we're going to explore how the simple act of being silent can improve the way we communicate and interact, not just with others, but also with ourselves. Let's discover how quiet moments can lead to loud breakthroughs in our personal and professional lives. The stillness of silence may seem simple, yet it carries profound effects on our health and happiness. Studies have consistently shown that quiet moments are not just pauses in the noise, but are essential to our well-being. For instance, research indicates that silence can significantly lower blood pressure. In a world where hypertension is a growing concern, finding peaceful moments could be as vital as diet and exercise. The benefits of reducing noise are not limited to the physical. Silence has a powerful impact on our mental state as well. Psychologists have found that periods of quiet help reduce stress levels dramatically. This reduction is linked to the decrease in cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated, contributes to feelings of stress and anxiety. By reducing these levels, silence offers a natural and accessible way to enhance our mental health. Further studies have explored how silence can boost brain function. The absence of noise allows the brain to let down its sensory guard, enabling deeper focus and clarity. This cognitive rest helps rejuvenate the mind, improving our ability to think and problem solve. Turning our attention from the lab to everyday life, the contrast between noise and silence is stark. Our days are often filled with a constant barrage of sounds, from traffic and technology to human chatter. This constant noise can drain our energy and diminish our ability to concentrate. Recognizing the areas where noise dominates can help us find opportunities for silence. For many, the daily commute is filled with honking cars and bustling crowds. Transforming this time into a silent retreat where you disconnect from your devices and let the world around you fade can change a hectic start to a serene beginning. Another practical approach is rethinking our morning routines. Instead of starting the day with the blare of the television or the buzz of the radio, try a quiet morning. Allowing yourself a few moments of silence while you sip your coffee can set a calm tone for the rest of the day. Incorporating silence into daily life can also extend to the workplace. During breaks, instead of diving into your phone, spend a few minutes in quiet reflection. This not only breaks the cycle of constant stimulation, but also refreshes your mind, making you more productive when you return to work. Silence doesn't need to be long to be effective. Even brief periods of quiet, like spending a few minutes in silence after lunch, can provide a significant mental reset. It's about creating small pockets of tranquility in your day. For families, silent meals can be a novel way to connect. By turning off the TV and putting away phones during dinner, you encourage mindfulness and presence. It might feel awkward initially, but the depth of connection and conversation can deepen remarkably. In social settings, consciously choosing to listen rather than speak can change the dynamics of interaction. By doing so, you give space to others to express themselves, which can lead to more meaningful and fulfilling relationships. Even in solitude, the practice of sitting quietly without distractions can help cultivate a deeper understanding of oneself. It allows thoughts and feelings to surface that are often drowned out by the noise of everyday life. As we explore these strategies, it's clear that integrating moments of silence into our routine can be simple yet incredibly effective. These quiet intervals support our mental and physical health, improve our relationships, and enhance our productivity. They remind us that in the rush of our lives, the power of silence is always at our fingertips, ready to be unleashed for a more peaceful and focused existence. In the realm of communication, silence wields a subtle yet profound influence. Far from being merely the absence of speech, silence can be a strategic tool that conveys power, commands respect, and enhances attentiveness. When we choose to remain silent in conversations, we are not withholding our voice, but rather deploying it with precision. This measured use of silence can shift the dynamics of a discussion, bringing a sense of gravity and thoughtfulness that words alone may not achieve. The power of silence in communication is particularly evident in settings such as negotiations or debates. Here, silence can serve as a pause that allows the speaker to collect their thoughts, signaling confidence and control. This momentary lull can make the other parties eager to fill the void, often revealing more than they intended or making concessions they had not planned. Thus, by mastering the art of silence, individuals can steer conversations and negotiations toward favorable outcomes. Moreover, silence is a mark of respect and attentiveness. In heated discussions, instead of responding in haste and potentially escalating tensions, a deliberate pause shows that you are considering the other person's viewpoint seriously. This respect for their words can calm the atmosphere, fostering a more open and constructive exchange of ideas. It tells others that you value their opinions and are engaged in understanding rather than merely replying, which can deepen mutual respect and facilitate more meaningful connections. From a cultural perspective, the interpretation of silence varies significantly across different societies. In some Eastern cultures, such as Japan or Finland, silence is an integral part of communication. It is esteemed and recognized as a sign of wisdom and self-control. Being comfortable with long pauses in conversation is considered a social skill, reflecting a person's ability to listen and reflect deeply before speaking. Conversely, in many Western cultures, silence is often uncomfortable and commonly viewed as a gap that needs filling. In these contexts, silence might be misinterpreted as disapproval or lack of interest. Therefore, understanding these cultural nuances is crucial for effective communication, especially in our increasingly globalized world. It helps prevent misunderstandings and builds bridges between differing communication styles. By appreciating the power of silence and its varied interpretations across cultures, we can enhance our communicative effectiveness. Utilizing silence not only as a gap, but as a strategic tool can transform our interactions, making them more impactful and respectful. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or cross-cultural engagements, silence can indeed speak louder than words. Silence, often undervalued in our bustling world, is a profound catalyst for creativity. When the constant distractions and noises are set aside, the mind finds a unique form of freedom. This tranquility allows deep thoughts and innovative ideas to surface. For creatives, whether writers, artists, or musicians, silence is not just space. It's a rich breeding ground for inspiration. Consider the testimony of celebrated authors and composers who retreat into quiet spaces to kindle their creative fires. These creators often speak of their best ideas emerging not amidst the clamor of their daily routines, but in moments of complete stillness, where the only voice they hear is their inner muse. For instance, the famous novelist, Virginia Woolf, emphasized the need for a room of one's own to disconnect from the world and allow her literary thoughts to flourish. Similarly, many painters and sculptors prefer working in the quiet of their studios, where the only strokes heard are those of their brushes and tools shaping their next masterpiece. Here, in the solitude, their creativity takes flight, guided by a silent inner dialogue that drives their artistic process. Musicians, too, find silence indispensable. Before a composition can take shape, silence must first be understood and appreciated. Legendary composer John Cage, with his experimental piece 433, taught us that silence itself could be music, framing the absence of sound as an element just as crucial as notes and rhythms. Turning our focus from creativity to the realm of conflict resolution, silence holds a different kind of power. It's a strategic pause, a breath taken before a storm, which can calm turbulent interactions. When emotions run high, a moment of silence can act as a circuit breaker, resetting the atmosphere and paving the way for more rational discourse. In conflicts, whether personal or professional, our first impulse is often to respond immediately. However, by injecting a pause, we provide space not only for ourselves to formulate a more considered reaction, but also for others to reflect on the situation. This can prevent the escalation of conflict and encourage a resolution that is more thoughtful and enduring. For example, in a heated debate, when one party chooses to pause and reflect instead of retaliating with harsh words, the dynamic of the interaction changes. This silence can signal seriousness and control, urging all parties to step back and reassess their positions. It moves the conversation from a reactive state to a proactive one, where solutions can be sought. Moreover, silence in such settings allows for better absorption and understanding of the other party's perspective. Active listening is facilitated by quietness, which in turn fosters empathy. Understanding why someone feels a certain way or holds a particular viewpoint requires us to listen, truly listen, without the immediate intent to reply. Therapists and mediators use silence as a tool to help clients and parties explore their thoughts and feelings deeply. By allowing people the space to express themselves without immediate feedback, they often reach clearer self-understanding and consequently a clearer path to resolution. This technique of using silence is not just effective in resolving conflicts, but also in preventing them. In team settings or family dynamics, encouraging periods where listening takes precedence over speaking can lead to a deeper understanding and appreciation of each other's viewpoints, preemptively smoothing out potential conflicts. In both the realms of creativity and conflict resolution, silence is thus a powerful tool. It allows the mind to explore uncharted territories in art, literature, and music, and it facilitates a more empathetic, understanding approach in interactions. In silence, we find the space to create and resolve, to imagine and understand. This quiet power, when harnessed correctly, can lead to profound outcomes in various aspects of life. Silence, while powerful, can often be misinterpreted. In a world where communication is dominated by quick replies and constant updates, choosing silence can sometimes be seen as disinterest or aloofness. This misunderstanding can lead to a gap in personal and professional relationships, where silence is mistaken for a lack of engagement or care. It's crucial to recognize that silence is not an absence of communication, but a different mode of it. When used thoughtfully, it can convey reflection, respect, and deep consideration. However, the key is to ensure that the intent behind our silence is understood by others. Without this understanding, what is meant to be a pause for thought can be misread as coldness or detachment. To overcome these challenges, it's helpful to be proactive about our use of silence. For instance, in a conversation, if you need a moment to think before responding, it can be beneficial to verbalize this. Saying something as simple as, "Let me take a moment to think about that," can change the way your silence is perceived. This small cue can signal to your conversation partner that you are engaged and value what's being discussed, rather than disinterested. In professional settings where decisions are often made quickly, explaining your need for quiet reflection can be particularly important. Before entering a meeting or negotiation, you might express to your colleagues that you prefer to take time for thoughtful consideration. This preemptive communication helps set the expectation that you might not respond immediately, but are still actively participating. In personal relationships, it's equally important to clarify the reasons for your silence. If you're someone who processes feelings internally, sharing this trait with friends and family can help them understand your need for quiet. This can prevent misinterpretations of your silence as withdrawal or indifference. Additionally, using body language effectively can also convey positive intent during silent moments. Maintaining eye contact, nodding, or using other nonverbal cues can demonstrate that you are still actively involved in the interaction, even when you're not speaking. Another strategy is to follow up after a period of silence. Once you've had time to reflect, returning to the conversation with thoughtful comments or questions can demonstrate that your silence was indeed a pause for consideration, not a sign of disinterest. For those leading teams or groups, it's beneficial to encourage an environment where silence is respected as part of the communication process. This can be fostered by setting ground rules in discussions or meetings, where moments of silence are not only allowed but are seen as valuable for deeper thinking and processing. By reframing how we view and use silence, and by communicating openly about its purpose, we can harness its power without falling prey to misunderstandings. In doing so, we cultivate a richer, more thoughtful way to interact, enhancing both our personal and professional relationships. Silence, a seemingly simple practice, holds profound implications for our mental and emotional health. In the quiet moments, we find the space to turn inward and truly connect with ourselves, paving the way for mindfulness and meditation, two practices renowned for their mental health benefits. Mindfulness, the art of being fully present and engaged in the moment without judgment, often begins with the practice of silence. It allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without the distraction of background noise or the constant input of information. This practice can significantly reduce stress and anxiety, offering a respite from the relentless pace of daily life. Meditation, in particular, uses silence as a foundation. By sitting quietly, we learn to calm the mind and slow down our racing thoughts. Numerous studies have shown that regular meditation can decrease anxiety levels, enhance concentration, and promote an overall sense of well-being. This isn't just anecdotal, it's supported by brain imaging studies that show meditation can change the brain's structure, increasing areas related to emotional regulation and decreasing those involved in stress response. Personal stories abound of individuals who have transformed their mental and emotional landscapes through these practices. Consider the experience of a former executive who, overwhelmed by stress and anxiety, turned to meditation as a last resort. In the silence of his daily practice, he found not only relief from immediate stress, but also long-term changes in how he approached his work and personal life. His story is just one of many where silence has opened the door to a healthier and more centered life. Another poignant example comes from a mother dealing with the hectic demands of parenting and career. For her, setting aside time for silence each morning became a sanctuary. This practice helped her manage anxiety and maintain her emotional equilibrium, empowering her to meet her daily challenges with a sense of calm and assurance. In groups and communities, silent retreats have gained popularity, offering participants a chance to disconnect from the noise of the outside world and reconnect with their inner selves. The fact that so many participants in these retreats report significant improvements in their emotional stability and mental clarity shows how potent and transformational quiet can be. For those new to these practices, it's important to start small. Just a few minutes of silence and mindfulness each day can begin to ease the mind's chatter and soothe the emotional highs and lows. Over time, as one becomes more comfortable in the silence, these periods can be extended, deepening the beneficial effects. Indeed, integrating silence into our daily routine is not merely about withdrawing from the noise. It's about creating an opportunity for our minds to reset and rejuvenate. This silent space becomes a powerful tool for enhancing our mental health, allowing us to face life's challenges with greater resilience and peace. Silence is not just a pause from the noise, it's an active step towards better health. Incorporating silence into your daily life can start as a simple, small habit that grows into a profound source of peace and wellness. Let's explore how you can begin this practice and understand the lasting benefits it can bring to your health. To start, aim for just a few minutes of silence each day. This could be early in the morning, just after you wake up, or late at night before you go to bed. Find a comfortable spot where you won't be disturbed, sit down, and just let the quiet envelop you. During these moments, focus on your breathing, allowing your mind to clear and your body to relax. After you've gotten used to these short periods of quiet, gradually increase the duration. From 5 minutes, you might go to 10, then 15, and continue as feels comfortable. The key is consistency. Even a few minutes of dedicated silence each day can be more beneficial than longer, sporadic sessions. As you build this habit, you'll begin to notice the immediate benefits, reduced stress, and a heightened sense of calm. But the long-term advantages are equally significant. Regular practice of silent reflection can lead to lower blood pressure, improved mental clarity, and better emotional resilience. These changes not only enhance your day-to-day life, but also contribute to long-term health and wellness. Incorporate silence before stressful activities or after intense days. If you know you have a challenging meeting or a busy day ahead, start with a period of silence to center yourself. Conversely, after a day filled with noise and chaos, unwind with silence to calm your mind and ease into restorative sleep. Make silence a part of your routine, just like any other health practice. Just as you might schedule time for exercise or meal planning, do the same with silence. This intentional placement reinforces the importance of quiet time and ensures you don't overlook it amidst your daily tasks. Remember, the journey towards integrating silence into your life is personal and flexible. There's no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you find what works best for you and your lifestyle. By making silence a regular part of your routine, you open yourself up to a myriad of health benefits, that can transform not just your mental state, but your overall quality of life. With each silent moment, you're taking a step towards a healthier, more centered you. Throughout our exploration, we've uncovered the profound impact that silence can have on our health, our creativity, and the way we communicate. Silence isn't just an absence of noise, it's a powerful presence that brings with it clarity, peace, and insight. Whether it's enhancing your mental health, fostering creative breakthroughs, or improving the way you connect with others, the benefits of incorporating silence into your daily life are vast and significant. I encourage each of you to start experimenting with moments of silence in your own life. Begin with just a few minutes each day and observe the changes that unfold. How does it affect your stress levels, your relationships, your work? The answers might surprise you, and as we close, I invite you to consider a reflective question. What could you discover about yourself in the quiet moments when the world fades away? This isn't just about finding peace. It's about discovering new parts of yourself and unlocking potential that noise often overshadows. If you found value in our journey through the power of silence today, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insights into how small changes can make a big impact on your life.